another edition of Mrs. D's Baking TV. I'm Mrs. D, and guys, I just simply love to bake. When I tell you baking is my life's joy, it is. Well, in this season of my life, baking is one of my life's joys. Right after that sentence came out of my mouth, I was thinking about all the other things in my life that bring me joy, like my grandbabies. But anyway, I digress. I love to bake. So thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today in Mrs. D's Baking TV kitchen, we will be preparing a chocolate spice cake with dark chocolate ganache. Doesn't that sound fancy? When you say ganache, instead of saying, frosting or, or glaze, but when you say ganache, it just, I don't know, it sounds fancy. But anyway, if you watched my previous video on gadgets, during that presentation, I showed you all of these beautiful Nordic ware bundt pans that I had received for gifts from my family. Well, we're going to be using one of those today. We're going to be using, this one is called, let's see, it's the 6-cup heritage pan. We're going to be using this beautiful pan today. And the reason I keep looking at this is because I am actually going to use the recipe that came with the bundt pan. That's right. Why search the internet when all you had to do was just look at the packaging and there's the perfect recipe right there on the insert. So we are going to be making, like I said, a chocolate spice cake with chocolate ganache. Now, what's so special about this cake? Guys, not only does this cake have some of my favorite things, which are chocolate, but it also has coffee. Yes, this chocolate cake has coffee. And guess what else it has? Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, y'all. So I have never baked this before. Of course, if you've joined me on my channel before, I like baking things in front of you guys for the first time. So I will be baking this chocolate cake in front of you guys for the first time because chocolate is just one of my favorites. So I've got to use my pans and I've got this baking channel. So why not make a bundt cake today? So follow along as we make this delicious chocolate cake. Now, some of the gadgets that you're going to need. We're not even using an electric mixer today. You're going to need a mixing bowl with a whisk. You're going to need measuring spoons to measure out your vanilla. You will need to use your stove and your oven. But I have this cute little heating pad that I'm using today to heat up my chocolate. But you'll need a saucepan and a rubber spatula. And basically that's it. Oh, and you'll need an additional bowl in order to mix your ganache and set it aside. So follow along as we make this delicious, what I hope to be. I always say delicious first because nothing that I've baked so far has been like, guys, don't bake that. So follow along as we make what I hope is a delicious chocolate cake. Now, I have a recipe that is my favorite. I don't know if this one is going to take its place, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So follow along. To our saucepan, we are going to add our decaffeinated coffee. Now, the recipe doesn't say whether or not you can use decaf or regular, but I figure since the chocolate has enough caffeine in it, I would use decaf coffee. So I just added about 10 ounces, which is 1 1/4 cup of undecaf coffee to my saucepan, and we are going to let that simmer. Once it simmers, then we're going to add our additional ingredients. Now that our coffee has come to a simmer, we are going to turn off the heat. We are going to add our chocolate. And remember, this is our unsweetened chocolate. And we are going to add our butter and our sugar. And I am following this recipe to the letter. I am not changing it. If you've watched my channel before, you know that Mrs. D likes switching up recipes. Well, since this is my first time using this recipe, I have decided not to change anything because I like using coconut sugar. But today I'm going to follow this recipe to the letter. We're going to allow our chocolate, butter, and sugar to melt. To our mixing bowl, we will add our unbleached all-purpose flour. This particular recipe did not call for cake flour, so I'm using my unbleached all-purpose flour, and we're going to add all of our spices to the bowl, and we are going to add our clove, nutmeg, cinnamon, salt. Come on, salt. There we go. Our salt and our baking soda. And we are going to blend that together. And don't forget the most important spice that I'm excited to use, a dash of cayenne pepper. Now, this is probably a little bit more than a dash, so I'm not going to put all this in. I'm just going to just a dash, just a little pinch. So here we go. Let's see. That's a pinch. That's a dash. And we're going to blend all of our dry ingredients together. There we go. All right. And let's go ahead and prepare our bun pan. And I am using this Bake Easy nonstick spray by Wilton. You see that? Got it on sale, of course, at a store because you know, Mrs. D, I don't pay full price for anything. So let's go ahead and spray the pan. Now, I'll tell you, I was reading all of my instructions on using this pan, and it says do not use a cooking spray in your Nordic ware pan. I gather that will probably damage your pan, so use a cooking spray. If you don't have a non-stick baking cooking spray, you can also use butter and flour. For this recipe, it also says that you can use butter and cocoa powder. So let's spray that all the way around, making sure we got all the nooks and crannies. Okay, I think that's good enough. Yeah. All righty. And it looks like our chocolate sauce has cooled. Yes. Okay. And now we're going to add our chocolate sauce to another bowl and add our eggs. I believe the reason that the recipe calls for you to add the chocolate sauce to another bowl is because think about it. This saucepan that we've got our chocolate and coffee mixture in, it holds temperature. So we don't want to cook our eggs. So we're going to transfer this to another bowl. There we go. We are going to add in our room temperature eggs. Remember, when baking, read your recipe all the way through. If your recipe calls for room temperature eggs, please do not grab your eggs out of the refrigerator and add them to your recipe. If you don't remember to leave your eggs out to reach room temperature, what you can do is take your eggs and put them in a bowl with some warm water, just a regular bowl. I'll show you. If these eggs were just coming out of the refrigerator, I will add some room temperature water, place my eggs in the bowl, and leave them in the bowl for about 10 minutes. And that will allow the eggs to come to room temperature. But you know me, I like to prepare all of my ingredients before my recipe, have everything in its place so my eggs are room temperature. So let's go ahead and add our eggs to our chocolate mixture. And I'm going to mix them in one at a time, just to make sure that the egg is well incorporated before I add the next egg. And I like my little see-through bowl because I can see what's going on there. All right, that's well blended. And let's go ahead and add our last egg. Did you see that one-hander? Y'all, I'm so proud of my little baking skills. The classes that I've been taking and just to increase my knowledge of baking, I am really enjoying that master class that I took with Joanne Chang. I know I keep mentioning it on my channel, but guys, I really enjoyed that class. I've learned so much. So there we go. Our eggs are well blended in, and now we are going to add our chocolate mixture to our flour. And guys, we're going to put this in the oven. This will be ready in no time. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to mix, mix, mix while adding it slowly. Oh, this chocolate and coffee, this smells so good. I even have chocolate extract. I can't wait to use that in a recipe. There we go. All righty. That's all of it. Excellent. Let's mix that around. And we still have one more ingredient to add, our vanilla extract. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And of course, you know I'm using my favorite. Still got a little bit of this left. This is the Ugandan pure vanilla extract by Nielsen Massey. All right, here we go. And you know me, I always like to add a little extra. If you don't know, you know now. Okay, we mix that in and we're done. We are going to add this to our bundt pan and get this in the oven. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I've got my oven thermometer in my oven to make sure that it's at the right temperature. And we're going to bake this for 40 to 50 minutes. Here we go. Oh my goodness, this looks like a lot, but we followed the instructions. And look, I've got just a little bit of flour at the bottom. Mix that in. And continue to pour. There we go. All righty. Excellent. And then I am going to tap this on the countertop just to make sure all my bubbles are out. And we're going to place this in the oven. I'm excited. It's been exactly 40 minutes and our cake is done. Oh, look at there. Yes. It's bouncing back and the aroma, oh my goodness, this smells absolutely delicious. So we're going to allow our cake to cool in the pan for exactly 10 minutes before we invert it onto a plate. Now, while our cake is cooling, we're going to make our ganache. To make our ganache, we're simply going to heat this heavy whipping cream until it simmers, and then we'll add it to our bowl of dark chocolate chips. We'll cover it for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be done. And then we'll be able to invert our cake and top it with this beautiful ganache. Our milk is already simmering because, as you can see, the pot I had already turned on on my little warming plate. And now we are going to add our heavy whipping cream to our chocolate, and we are going to cover it for exactly 5 minutes and allow that chocolate to melt. We're not going to agitate it at all. And we're going to cover it with plastic wrap. And it's been exactly 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and turn our cake onto our plate. All right, let's do that first. Grab a dish towel because remember, it's still hot. Did it stick? Did it stick? Did it stick? Let's see. And you want to hear a thud. You're just hoping for a thud. Ta-da! Oh my goodness. Oh, the chocolate smell, the chocolate smell, the chocolate smell. Yes. Oh, look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. Guys, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Okay. And as soon as our ganache is complete the little process of the 5 minutes, we're going to top our cake. Yes. I'm so excited. Okay, it's been 5 minutes and now it's time to stir our ganache. We're going to take the plastic wrap off And we are going to stir it, and our chocolate should be completely melted. Yep, look at that. Completely melted. Yep. I'm gonna whisk that. That's better. Yeah, instead of using that rubber scraper, let's whisk it. And I'm going to actually transfer this to another bowl because it will be easier to drizzle our ganache over our cake. Look at that beautiful, shiny ganache. Oh my goodness. And now for the beautiful part. Guys, look at this beautiful cake. Look at it. Oh my goodness. You know, I got to bring it closer so you can see. Look at that beautiful cake. Oh my gosh. I'm sure it's going to taste just as good as it looks. All righty. You know what time it is. I was a cheerleader in high school. I almost feel like I need to come up with a cheer. You know what time it is. Taste test time. Mrs. D, you're doing too much. You got to dance. Now you want to cheer. It is taste test time. It is taste test time. All right, let's go. Let's see what we're working with. Guys, this cake is almost too pretty to cut. It's just so pretty. Okay. How do you cut such a beautiful cake? Do you cut it at an angle? Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's get it done. Let's get it done, Mrs. D. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, which angle? I'm just gonna cut it. Just cut it, D. Just cut it. Just cut it, Mrs. D. Cut it. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh wee. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, it's very moist. Now, I want to see if I can taste the coffee. Mmm. Oh, I can taste the spices. I forgot we put clove. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got to get another piece. Mmm. Guys, I'm not joking. Okay. I don't, it's different from the other chocolate cake. I was about to say, which one do I like better? If you want a spice flavored chocolate cake, this is it. The clove, I think the clove helps the chocolate to just come forth better, for the lack of a better term. This is delicious. This is delicious. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to share it. I can't wait. I cannot wait to share it because, oh, I can't wait to share it because I want other people's opinion, not just mine. But this is delicious. Guys, thank you so much again for joining me on my channel on Mrs. D's Baking TV. Guys, I just simply love to bake. I do. And I thank you for taking out the time to watch my video from beginning to end. Don't forget, thumbs up the video. You should have did that in the beginning to, get the traffic going. Thumbs up the video and also comment, like the video, share the video, bake. That's most importantly. I'm doing this because I want to show other at-home bakers like me that you can bake what you want. Don't spend $30 at some of those high-end grocery stores buying a cake. Bake it yourself. Bake it yourself. And this is the great thing about cakes. Let me say this. So I baked this cake. It's just my husband and I here at the house. I can slice this cake up, of course, share it with my friends. But if we want some of this cake, let's say in a couple of weeks, I'm going to slice some of this up and put it in the freezer. So after dinner one time, we want dessert, you got cake, you got cake. Or like I said, you can, treat your kids and put it in their lunchbox, but I don't think the teachers would appreciate you putting this particular cake in your children's lunchbox because I could see them being like this after recess or what after lunch. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Be blessed, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.